Hey, what's up everybody? This is April with Astrologer.com, and I am here to give you your weekly forecast for the week of April 14th through April 21st. So, what is the vibe? What's the feeling? What's going on during this time? During this week in astrology. So before I get started, just a reminder that during this month of April, this is my birthday month and the month of my name. So we're doing a couple of, we've extended some specials that I have on astrologer.com. So go to my readers page there and check out what specials are going on for you to book a personalized reading with me, whether through Skype or recorded reading. We have a few different things going on. So yeah, I'd love to speak with you and chat with you about astrology, about your chart, and help you with any area of life that you would like me to take a look at. So check it out there. The link should be below this video and also up there, the little I button will tell you where to go as well. So what's going on this week, April 14th to the 21st? Well, first we start off with, on the 14th, the sun is in an exact conjunction to Uranus. I did a video about this the other day, so if you want in-depth of how it affects everybody and by each individual sign, then go look that up over here on Astrologer on YouTube. But just to, generalize it here on this weekly horoscope video, the sun is our expression of our creativity, of our ego, of ourselves, and then Uranus is kind of an energy that's all about being an individual, not going with the crowd, being a rebel, being a little bit outlandish, out of the box, zany, kooky, what have you. So when the two come together in the sign of Aries, which is a sign of individuality and identity and the self, this can really bring an energy on this day of not only creativity and individuality, but a little air of rebelliousness is floating around all of us too. It depends on your sign and where Aries is in your birth chart as far as like what area of life it will affect you. But just generally overall, I have noticed people feeling a little more kooky, a little more just out of the box and just being goofy and laughing a more mad scientist laugh, really loud, and just kind of doing things randomly just because they feel like it, and people just dressing a little more true to them and maybe trying some different things with their style, their style of dress, their jewelry, their hair, whatever, makeup, anything. People are just really wanting to try some new things. And it doesn't really have to have a rhyme or reason or purpose. It's just, I just feel like it, What I would say to watch out for with the sun conjunct Uranus energy, especially with it being so potent on the 14th, is being accident prone, because Uranus does rule things suddenly happening. So being accident prone, whether that is while driving and traveling or through just around the house. I don't know if any of you have been super accident prone. I know I have personally, dropping things and just accidentally knocking things over. And even I went out to a store with a girlfriend today, and we were smelling like lotions and body sprays, and she at least 3 times accidentally, like while trying to smell the lotion, like got some on her nose or her face, and I was like trying to smell a body spray and I didn't pay attention to where the nozzle was aimed, and I sprayed it and it sprayed like right in my face, like right on my mouth and everything. It was just so like goofy and just, yeah, it was pretty funny, like wacky stuff that went on, just as an example of little things that can happen with the sun conjunct Uranus. But yeah, definitely beware of being more accident prone, of others around you being a little more accident prone, and just doing spontaneous things that may be a danger to one another. Just be very aware of those things. But yeah, a really good time to express your individuality. Also on the 14th of April, we have the moon moving into Sagittarius. So wherever the moon travels, it kind of sets the mood, the overall mood of ourselves and the people around us, and what we'll be most concerned about. And when the moon is in Sagittarius, this is actually, it's usually a pretty fun a fun energy. It's an energy of everything is awesome, like that song on the Lego movie, like, and just smiling really big and not really worrying too much about the mundane, about the worries of the physical world, our physical reality. It's also a time where we may be feeling a little more focused on our goals, like big time goals that we want, thinking about traveling, maybe linking up with some people who are different than we are, who are foreign, maybe enjoying more foreign foods, for an example, just have a craving for something from another country on those 2 days that the moon is in Sagittarius, 2 or 3 days. But yeah, thinking about traveling around. I know that this weekend of the 14th, 15th, 16th of April in the USA is Coachella, which is like a musical festival. This is music festival season. And so, the moon in Sagittarius is perfect for those celebrating Coachella, going to Coachella to listen to music and be outdoors, because Sagittarius rules camping and being outdoors and hiking and having adventures and traveling. So those who are at Coachella, oh my gosh, I am so jealous of you, because this sounds like a really fun weekend with the moon in Sagittarius during this time. On the 15th of April, Venus finally moves direct. She stops going retrograde. She's already been slowing down to a stop the couple of days prior to the 15th, and just sitting there in the sign of Pisces at 26 degrees. And it's been lovely, but also she is still receiving a challenging aspect from Saturn in Sagittarius. Venus in Pisces is being squared by Saturn in Sag. So Venus square Saturn is kind of teaching us lessons about love, teaching us lessons about money, about enjoyment. If you haven't really been enjoying yourself enough, then Venus square Saturn will probably challenge you to do a little more of that. If you've been doing it too much, this aspect will challenge you to kind of cut back and cut down and conserve and be a little bit more wise with your decisions when it comes to money and enjoyment and love. Some people may be receiving ultimatums when it comes to relationships. I've been hearing about those during the last couple of days with Venus square Saturn going direct. So when Venus goes direct in Pisces, anything that's come up while she was retrograde, while she was standing still in the sky squaring Saturn, are going to be moved forward, whether that be, a challenge of, are you going to commit to this relationship or not? Yes or no. Or a challenge of, should I let go of this relationship? What can we do to make this relationship better, to work on it more? Because Saturn energy is all about hard work and dedication. And are you serious about this or not? Because if you're not, I'm going to rip it out of your life. That is Saturn's motto. So when he's challenging Venus, she rules our relationships. She rules how we value people and the material world, the physical world, around us. So, and how we handle our money. So that's really going to continue to be challenged with Venus direct. But at least Venus is now moving direct, so we can proceed with things now, Venusian things. So hallelujah to that. She's still going to be in a shadow period for, I would say, about like a week or two, getting fully back into her regular orbit, eventually moving into Aries, but we'll talk about that during that time when she moves there. But for the 14th through the 21st, she will be direct in Pisces, still conjunct Chiron as well. Chiron, the wounded healer asteroid. So lots of lessons in love, money, and all things Venus ruled. But yeah, once Venus starts proceeding to move forward and out of shadow and no longer being squared by Saturn, it can be a better time to proceed with things like, procedures that have to do with your appearance, your beauty. That means getting your hair done, all the way up to the serious stuff like getting some sort of plastic surgery or enhancement of the appearance. When Venus is finally moving forward, maybe once she's been like, a few degrees into Aries, it may be a more positive time. But yeah, we will continue to be learning those lessons in anything Venus ruled from the 14th to the 21st. On the 16th, the moon is still in Sagittarius, still in happy-go-lucky, freedom-loving Sag. Throw your money in the air like you just don't care, Sag. But she will make a conjunction to Saturn in Sag. So when the moon and Saturn come together, there is a little bit more of a serious light sprinkled upon us as far as our emotions, our emotional state, and what we are concerned about as a collective and as individuals during that time. So moon conjunct Saturn is a time where you can be, if you've been kind of reckless a little bit, especially with this Aries energy conjunct Uranus with the sun, and then the moon and Sag, all this fire energy in the air calling us to do some things that are just kind of like, woo, you leap before you look. When the moon conjoins to Saturn on the 16th, it's going to make us think twice about those things, like, oh, maybe I shouldn't have done that. Maybe that was kind of dumb. But yeah, it can be just learning a little bit more of lessons, kind of challenging us on, are we giving ourselves or other people a little too much freedom, a little too much leeway? Are we kind of being a little too wild, a little too, like I said, a little too reckless, especially when it comes to money and things like that? Because Sagittarius energy, I always say it believes in like a genie or some magical money tree that things, just magically replenish out of nowhere. So if you've been doing a little too much indulgence, especially because we still have Mercury, we still have Mars in the indulgence sign of Taurus during this moon and Saturn in Sagittarius transit, we may get checked by Saturn on those things. Just a fair warning. On the 16th of April, the moon will move into Capricorn, out of Sag and into Capricorn. More serious Capricorn, more serious Saturnian energy. So definitely those who were getting wasted at Coachella and just kind of, woo, a little too much during that weekend. When the moon is in Cap, it's like, oh, really? Did I really do those crazy things? Did I really just kind of lose track of stuff with Mercury being still retrograde? And just kind of lose track of myself and time and money. Did I really do that? Oh my gosh, that's kind of the energy of moon in Capricorn when it switches. So yeah, but moon in Capricorn is a really good time to go over things like your career goals, your business goals, and just be serious and hardworking. I know it enters on a Sunday, so usually on Sundays people take that time to rest and relax, but the moon will be in Capricorn for a couple days. When we enter Monday the 17th, the moon will be in Capricorn. A lot of people go to work who work Monday through Friday, 9 to 5 or type of jobs. When on Monday on the 17th, the moon in Cap is going to help you to prepare, instead of having a case of the Mondays. You'll be ready. You may be ready to work, to go back to work and just be serious about your career, what you have to do to get finished and to accomplish things. And for going over your finances, maybe going over what you spent over the weekend. Ooh. And just kind of budgeting things, getting back on track, getting back in a more serious mode. On the 19th of April, the moon will shift into the sign of Aquarius. So this is an energy that is a little more emotionally stable and cool, and just kind of taking an elevated view of the world and of our fellow human beings, and emotionally detaching ourselves from situations and looking at them from a more logical, rational point of view, and looking at things from all different sides. That's what Aquarius energy is about. And looking at things from an outside the box point of view, like thinking like, okay, well, have you ever thought about this? What if this happens? What if that happens? What are we going to do then? That's Aquarius energy. Aquarius energy is also about unity, and it's about standing up for the underdog. So our mood, where the moon is at during the 19th through the 21st, since the moon rules our emotional states, and Aquarian energy is like not really the most deeply emotional and emotionally expressive. It doesn't really cry a lot, moon in Aquarius. So Our mood may be maybe a little bit more cool and calm and collected, as they say, and just kind of wanting to connect with people on social media a lot more on a broader scale, wanting to dive into some sci-fi or anything scientific, or just really mess with our technology a little bit more. So that is the moon in Aquarius from the 19th to the 21st. On the 20th of April, the sun will enter the sign of Taurus. Hallelujah for me, because I am a Taurus. So for Tauruses, happy birthday in advance if you were born from the 20th to the 21st, because this horoscope only covers up to the 21st. But a happy early birthday to all Tauruses, all fellow bulls. It's our season. It's our time to shine and feel really good. The sun in Taurus overall is a time where we're going to be more focused on Taurus themed things like food. Yes. Food, money, the material world, earning money, working hard to accumulate the material possessions that you desire. Being a little bit more sensual and in tune with our five senses, being in tune with nature. This is around the time of year where they have Earth Day. I don't remember exactly what day it's on, but Earth Day, some people celebrate that as, you know, a time to really appreciate Mother Nature and Mother Earth and all of the beautiful fruits that she has offered us, not just literal fruits that we eat, but I mean like, you know, just the earth in general, the beauty of it, of you know, the grass, the trees, the ocean, just everything in nature, really having an appreciation for that and really being in tune with that. All that is natural, you know, this is a great time to learn about things like crystals and gemstones. If you are into things that are metaphysical and more natural and nature, herbs, working with herbs, just working with anything that is just like raw and pure from Mother Nature. Of course, with the sun being in Taurus, we have to beware of being a little more overindulgent, because Taurus is really in tune with the five senses, really into very rich foods, anything that's ruled by Venus, sweets and yeah, stuff that's really rich and flavorful, which a lot of that stuff is not the best for us, like health-wise, but still, like during Taurus season, oh my gosh, be prepared to see even more pictures of food on Instagram and Snapchat. If you're a social media person, you're going to see a lot more of that during Taurus season, which I personally find to be a beautiful thing. But some other people may be annoyed, like, oh my God, more pics of your lunch. Oh, I don't really care about what you're eating. But yeah, we're going to appreciate food so much more during Taurus season. It's really beautiful. When the sun enters Taurus, it's also a time when we're going to be reevaluating what we value. That can mean material possessions, money, who we value, how we value ourselves too, because it has to do with self-worth. When the sun moves into Taurus, he will be in a conjunction with Mercury, which is retrograde. Sun conjunct Mercury is a time when our minds will be even more stimulated. We'll have a lot more mental activity. Since this is retrograde, this is still going to be going back over things, having a lot of retrospect, like literally retrospect. And a lot of reflection is going to be done. Venus is the ruling planet of Taurus, and she will be moving direct. So still helping us to kind of usher in new when it comes to Venus ruled things. But yeah, Mercury retrograde is really going to still be bringing back a lot of thoughts, and a lot of re-evaluation is still going to be done. So on the 21st, Mercury moves into Aries, back into Aries retrograde. Mercury will be at 29 degrees of Aries, and that is still pretty close to Uranus. Uranus is still around 24, 25 degrees of Aries. So Mercury retrograde in a close conjunction with Uranus, that's a little bit of a more zany energy, more of the unexpected. Once again, since Mercury is retrograde and then conjunct Uranus, which can bring sudden events. Be very, very careful driving, guys. Very careful, because I have seen, just since Mercury like went retrograde in general, And then we have, you know, planets hitting Uranus too. So many posts on Facebook of accidents, car accidents, motorcycle accidents. Just really be careful out there on those roads, on those streets, on those freeways. Be very cautious when driving, extra cautious during this time. But yeah, Mercury retrograde in Aries. Be careful not to have your foot in your mouth, okay? You know, if you don't know what that means be careful not to just kind of blurt out things that you didn't really think over first before you blurted them out, okay? That's what pretty much what foot and mouth syndrome means. So we may have a tendency to be, once again, when Mercury was direct and in the sign of Aries and conjunct Uranus, I believe at the end of March sometime, yeah, towards the end of March, people could have just been saying blah, you know, just going blah about things. And Aries energy on a negative side can be pretty angry. It can be pretty aggressive. So, you know, just really watch what you say, starting with the 21st when Mercury will be in a conjunction with Uranus. However, also on the 21st, the moon will move into Pisces. So the overall mood is going to be dreamy and, you know, a little more in tune with our inner selves and our emotions and wanting solitude. So this can kind of soften up the energy of, you know, the crazy Mercury conjunct Uranus energy in Aries. Moon in Pisces can soften that. The moon will not be in a conjunction with Venus on this day, but she's still going to be in the same sign as Venus. Venus will be still direct in Pisces, and the moon in Pisces. Those are the two feminine celestial bodies up there, you know, above us, and that we track in the zodiac and in astrology. So those two feminine energies in a very feminine water sign like Pisces will really help to sweeten up the energy of the 21st. We will be wanting to be more in tune with music and art and dance and just really expressing ourselves in creative ways to where we kind of just channel that energy from above and just let go and just flow and be free, you know. And like that saying goes, dance like no one's watching, you know. That can mean literally dancing or just kind of just doing you, just being you, and not caring about who's watching, being in your own zone, being in your own world. A lot of us may feel like I said, being in solitude, maybe just kind of staying in and watching movies, listening to music, diving into some art, some artistic creative things, maybe just kind of being alone, whether completely alone or with another person, just kind of in your own little fishbowl, so to speak, when the moon and Venus will both be in Pisces. So that's how we're going to end the week. The sun will be in Taurus, sextiling the moon in Pisces. Very beautiful energy. Venus in Pisces, Mercury back in Aries, conjunct Uranus. So that can be a little crazy, but it can also be a very cool, creative, mad scientist, genius type of vibe too, to how we are speaking, communicating, using our hands, and expressing ourselves through speech or any type of communication. So the 21st seems like a really cool, like, creative day. If you are in a creative field or you have creative hobbies, the 21st is going to be a day where you may be able to perform your best and put out your best work. So look forward to that. So that was the weekly forecast for the 14th through the 21st of April. Thanks so much for watching. I hope everybody has a wonderful week. I hope you have an interesting and creative week. Hopefully people who are going to music festivals enjoy themselves, but not too much to where you may get checked by Saturn, checked by the moon in Capricorn. And yeah, don't forget to check me out on my readers page on astrologer.com. Book a reading with me if you want to speak to me personally about your own chart and your situation that's going on. I would love to do so. All right, so take care of yourselves and yeah, just have a fabulous week.